touched upon something that I want to kind of, dive into a little bit because it really was relevant for you. And that's the whole pandemic lockdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They had the biggest effect on the beauty industry,
Yeah.
keeping spas
1 year.
closed, babe, literally until the end of the pandemic. Your industry was the one that was on lockdown. So this is what I want to kind of touch upon.
Mm-hmm.
So many people had massive challenges during this time in your industry and in all businesses that were brick and mortar, right? Even closures. So many businesses just couldn't survive just the longevity of the lockdowns. So my ask of you here is, you saw this lockdown as another opportunity to diversify your business brand by leveraging your personal brand to launch an e-commerce beauty store with a twist. And this is kind of what, what I found to be very interesting, that I feel that everyone, watching, listening and reading this really need to pay attention to, because especially if you are on the other side of this, where you haven't yet kind of figured out how to make business online from where you were at with your brick and mortar, or to maybe even diversify your business opportunities so that you have both going on. I want you to listen to this part of Kavita's story. Kavita, can you share what the twist was of your e-commerce beauty store that kind of helped you use your personal brand to heavy lift kind of that transition from the brick and mortar to this online enterprise that you started? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So again, that was created through the knocking on the doors of my customers. So we went into lockdown March 2020, realizing, we might open. I really was like, I'll be open April 14th. April 14th came along. I was like, we're not opening. It's not happening, people.
I love the fact that we can laugh at this, because it really was.
Oh, there was times where I wasn't laughing, babe. Girl. Like, none of us were laughing. We're like, this is just inhumane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it was April last year. So it was, I would say mid-April. I was like, okay, I got to do something. I'm going to just do like some Zoom consults. That blew up. It was insane. But at the time in April, DermaQuest is a line that we carry. Bio4 is a line that we carry. And Beauty D is a line that does a lot of my, like, the lashes and like, the INV. They created this system called Dropship to make easier for business for us to send products to our clients.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I would just, do virtual consultations, and it would be extremely informative because I treat them as if they've come into the spa, and we just go through an entire breakdown. And then I would do a product suggestion, and these girls were buying like $400 or $500 worth of products.
Wow. Yeah.
Because they then realized that I need to take care of me. It only really took 6 weeks for them to be like waking up too, put the fire under their bum. To be like, I need me. I want to take care of myself. I'm looking at myself in the mirror because I have nowhere else to look.
Mm-hmm.
So it was then in November. So it took May, June, July. It took about 4 or 5 months to then launch the beauty market, which is, you can find that under the Infuse Med Spa website. And it's a beauty concierge service. So it's not something that is, okay, there's a product, buy it. This is something where you book yourself in for a consult. It's complimentary. And then what we do is we do the consultation for you. So it's more of a presence that service that I offered in April is now available online. And it does show the highlight products that you can purchase and repurchase. We have like codes that you can use. You get free shipping or you get discounts. And I mean, I love it. I'm glad that I launched the beauty concierge service. And you also, I ran it by you before I launched it. And you were like, it is the beauty concierge service. So this is what the beauty market offers within the online presence of my business. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy that I did that. Yeah.
You know, and I want to kind of share with everyone, Kavita, the thing that is, you know, has me beaming and why I'm so happy is that just think about this for a moment. Like, think about the entire conversation that we've been having about brand diversification and humanizing you know, connection and the challenge between brick and mortar and online when it comes to that communication. Like it's by, you know, it's easy to do it when you're in front of a person physically because you pick up on their energy and there's just a different vibe.
Yeah.
And it's times 10 harder to accomplish that same energy flow between people when you're doing it online.
Right.
And the beauty concierge was a genius idea.
Thank you.
To be able to create that connection by leveraging your personal brand and your skill set and your expertise to keep people feeling good about their beauty regime and making sure that the products and services that, you know, they're used to getting are still available, right?
Well,
and also, please.
Sorry. Yeah. And it also did, you know, had a great response when we reopened. The girls were like, we saw you online. Like, we saw you doing your thing. We saw you, and thank you for staying present and not like, you know, just like disappearing and all. I was like, no, girls, I got you. Like, even if it was the IG lives that we were doing or, you know, tips or whatever it is that they needed that. They find community in my business. And I wanted to bring that community to them now online and now in person and however which way that they wanted the community from me.
And that's the key here. I feel that is kind of that next level, you know, brand authority and loyalty is when you take that extra special step to ensure that the service they're used to having, whether it be brick and mortar or whether it be online, is no different other than the obvious, right? Yeah. So let me ask you this based on this. Anyone out there that's, you know, been brick and mortar, hasn't, you know, really figured out how to kind of transition online.
Okay.
What are the main differences from your experience in setting up a brick and mortar enterprise versus an online one?
A lot of it with the online in the beauty industry is being relatable. So not just saying, this is a vitamin C product, buy it. I'm not going to buy it. There has to be that she is an expert. So what are you an expert in? Are you an expert in eyelashes? So you're an expert in eyelashes. So you're going to start focusing on why you believe in these products, because this is what clients want to do is that she looks good. She has it going on. I want what she has. Give it to me. Right. But you still have to understand that in this whole online, you know, whatever it's like Instagram or if you're doing, you know, consultations, you have to be with them. You can't be like, I'm the expert, I'm untouchable. Guess what? No one's going to touch you. Right? So you have to be, I'm a city girl, you know, like I'm out there, I'm walking on Yonge Street. I'm no different than you. Okay. I put my makeup on a little bit like more attentively, but I'm still the same person. I still go through the same struggles. I'm going to make you feel beautiful because this is what my service is. So whatever it is in your cap, in your arena, you have to look at that. If it is everyone's still asking you about your lip care or your skin care, your hair, run with it, you know, and make it online and make it as relatable as possible. And not make it so product focused. Personality branding is a thing. It's just the way you do it. Everyone has their own little unique way to do it. Yeah.
You know, and you said something there that I want to make sure that everybody, you know, really takes home with them after this conversation. And that is, regardless of what you're selling, whether it's, you know, a product or a service, your service to that service, and your service to that product is the game changer here. Any tips, Kavita, on how someone can leverage one, that's say brick and mortar, to grow the other online? Or people who have online that are looking to go brick and mortar? Like how does the leverage game work here with these two very different ways that you can tap into someone's brand.
Your leverage is in your client. Your net worth is your net worth. And it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, if you're leveraging, you've got a very successful spa, you know, you have clients that are invested. They're going to be invested in your next move. And vice versa. If it's online, you know, your clients are invested. If you can see on your reports, most of your buying behavior is in, you know, Oakville, open up a shop in Oakville, start doing pop-up shops. Don't be afraid to do subleases. Get out there, get your feet out there, do it. There's so many options. Like, we've never been in a situation where pop-up shops are a thing. Sublease, like, I mean, my first one was a sublease in a spa, and I did it, and I succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing you say here is that, you know, there's no any which one way of accomplishing the same goal. Mm-hmm. It's looking at the opportunity that's knocking, the opportunity that is best suited to where you're at.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes it's a financial decision, right? Kavita, like, we can't all afford to have these big locations or spend, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on, you know, these massive e-commerce websites. And this is where you have to be realistic about what your resource pool is and see where you can start in the game.
There
right?
You go. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And be realistic. Don't be that person that's like, I need the biggest. No, guess what? It's going to be too big for you to chew on, and you're going to not be able to do it. You don't want that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you want success, guys. And success is best, you know, accomplished when you understand what you're doing.
Correct.
And you can see and you can measure the results in baby steps.
There
right?
you go. Measure the results.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Kavita, we've had quite the conversation. I kind of feel that there's so many different directions that we can go in. But for those people who are just joining us, I want to first tell you guys to stop. And I want you to rewind this back and I want you to start from the beginning, because I want you to pay heed to kind of the small but very intentional steps of the diversification strategy that Kavita was on that has gotten her to where she is today. And to just recap on that, her skill set is a big part of her brand diversification. Having started in the bridal glam, then into fashion and editorial glam, then moving into celebrity glam, then expanding her skill set to include beauty and skincare services, which then led to her opening up her med spa before creating her personal brand, which then she leveraged to convert her existing consumer and client base and increase both to an e-commerce store that was still focused on creating and establishing and cultivating a personal relationship. Kavita, looking back, can you share the mindset that you cultivated to go from a service provider to an entrepreneur? Because that's like a huge leap.
It is.
That it sounds like it's easy to do on paper. And it also, you know, is the most daunting task for someone to go from predictable income to income that completely relies on them. So I want to ask you, from your perspective, how did you accomplish that? Maybe some people out there who are sitting on the fence, they've been service providing for many years, and they just haven't quite made that leap into entrepreneurship. What is the mindset that changed the game for you?
It's very simple, actually. It's trust. So trusting yourself, trusting in your fate, and trusting in exactly the services or the business that you offer, and believing in that. So, you know, a lot of us who go from a service to an entrepreneurial switch, we start looking at financial statements. We start looking at firm projections. I've never done that. I don't believe in that. Again, the lockdown is a great example where a lot of people are like, this is my year goal, da-da-da-da-da. Stuff changes. But the one thing that's not going to change is the trust in your service and the trust in your product and your brand, and how you have complete control over your audience at that point? And how are you going to pivot? How are you going to listen to what they need? And how are you going to make that elevate your brand and your business?
I love that you said that, you know, and that's the thing, right? You know, oftentimes when people think of, you know, becoming an entrepreneur, they think, oh my God, you know, balance sheets, and I need to know all the checky marks. I need to know how to do everything. But you don't, because, and that's the other thing. And I was speaking to a marketing, you know, thought leader a couple of weeks ago, Kavita, and I want to share this, where he said, I can't remember the last time I put together a marketing plan, because literally within days, within hours, the whole game just changes, because that's the thing about the online enterprise. And that's also the thing about how technology is constantly disrupting the space. And it's also the thing about, we don't know when all of a sudden something like a pandemic can come out of the blue.
Anything.
We don't. Yeah.
Anything.
Absolutely. So I love that you said that. So, you know, and, you know, that trust game, you know, that leap of faith.
Yes.
As scary as
big
it is.
On that. I'm big on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing about, you know, entrepreneurs. It's funny because, you know, somebody asked me many years ago that, you know, like, you know, you didn't have a business degree. You know, you didn't have a journalism degree.
Yeah.
Right? We both, you know.
Yeah.
You don't, you know, you don't have a journalism, you know, degree, and you don't know any celebrities. How are you going to start a media company? And my
yeah, what was it?
Babe, my strategy was not like all of these, like, you know, data imprints and plans and stuff. I went with a gut feeling that my community needed to be represented, right? And that I knew that all I have to do is jump off that cliff, and before I hit the ground, I gotta just figure out how I'm gonna land.
I think we're still doing that.
We're still doing it, sweetheart, you know? And, you know, and I'm not saying that, you know, be reckless with that thought process.
No, don't be, reckless, or if it's rude or mean about it. Be, you know, smart, again, trusting, be in the form of light, and just go for it.
Absolutely. So I want to ask you this question. Why do you feel it's important in today's economy for people to own their own job description as an entrepreneur rather than let someone else own it as an employee?
Wow. That is such a great question. I think, first of all, is your personal happiness and your personal freedom. And personal freedom doesn't mean, oh, I make my own schedule. The girls and guys watching this, like, and Raj knows this, I'm pounding the pavement sometimes for 12 to 13 hours, like 2 to 3 weeks in. But it gives you the personal freedom to make choices, and not to have someone's hand on you, like when you can take a break, when you need to check in and out, when you need to take vacations, how you need to service, or where you. It's sometimes it's just not cut out for some people. Some people are okay with that 9 to 5, come home. I don't want to be my independent person. I don't want to worry about, you know, my hydro bill, my Enbridge bill, or whatever. I'm okay doing that. I'm okay standing up for my business and standing up for the money that I make in my business. Again, it takes a personality to do that, but you know, to be your entrepreneur, it's next level. Empowerment, but just even looking back, you're like, how did I do that? How did I get here? Because there isn't that form where it's like, you're now 3 years into your job, you're going to be promoted into, you know, a supervisor. There isn't that. You're going to be promoted into being a better business person and a very successful entrepreneur.
And that's the game changer right there for anyone who, for anyone that's, you know, sitting on the fence. That's the game changer right there. Yeah. So, Kavita, we're getting close to the end of our time together. Boo-hoo.
Oh.
And I want to kind of touch upon one other diversification that your brand has gone through. And this is your mentorship of women. You know, how to set up and establish and grow a beauty business in the brick and mortar as well as the online space. Let's talk about that now, just kind of as that next brand diversification strategy that you've kind of started to go into, because people are coming to you. You know, and it's because you're a subject matter expert in your arena. Can you share with everyone what, you know, why, you know, you chose to take on this kind of mentorship arm and why it's important to you to kind of do that today at this point in your career?
Well, I mean, I think it's when you become sort of good or a master at what you do, you have to share your expertise, because this is how I believe in. It's this thing called karma currency. So it's like, you don't, you know, I won't hang around with people that are greedy with their success. I want to be around women and men that want to share their tips, their knowledge, their way and their journey and how they got successful, because it's going to help me and I'm going to be able to help someone else. But because, you know, what I do and where and how I started, I don't sit in the mindset where I was like, well, I didn't have that help and I did this all by myself, so I'm not going to go help someone else. Guess what? You're not going to be successful in life in anything that you do. I'm here to help women in the beauty industry. I do offer master classes when it comes to your business, you know, projects, or if it's business branding, whether it's with your products or your services, I can help you with that. Why do I want to help you with that? Because it's my calling again. It's just something I want to do. It's something that I can know I can offer. When I did start my training in 2008, a lot of people were like, well, you're giving your secrets away. I'm like, no, I'm not. Because she's not me and I'm not her. I'm just giving her, you know, a sort of like a blueprint and she can run with it. What am I going to, you know, what do I have to lose? Nothing.
Kavita, there's 7 billion people on this planet. I think there are enough clients for all of us, right?
Right?
Absolutely. Honestly. So if someone wanted to work with you as a mentor in this particular capacity, what should they expect to get out of that kind of relationship with you? And what would some of your expectations be, you know, to qualify them?
So basically, each client is treated as an individual. So there's a client right now that she has a product and she's just really good at doing products. So what we're doing is we're walking her through on how to build that product with your client, how to get that product in the client's hands. And so we're working on different strategies on doing that, for example. If it's your service related, we talk about, okay, a lot of people have that mindset. I'm going to open up a spa. I need to offer all the array of services. No, you don't. You know, offer the services that you're actually very, very good at. And then maybe in about 2 to 3 years, you'll offer the other services just to bring in that, because you've built your reputation for that one, you know, service that you're so good at. So everything's, you know, sort of in the beauty industry, there's so many umbrellas and services to offer. It's just not one thing. Whereas I'm an accountant, so I need help to become a better accountant, or I'm a lawyer, I need coaching on how to become a better lawyer. With beauty, it's a whole different thing. It comes from services and it comes from products, and it's just like who you are, again, who your clientele is, and how you're going to do the tap dance, sort of say.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of what Kavita's sharing here in terms of, you know, mentorship, this really is something that you can, you know, transfer this knowledge over into other industries as well, because core benchmarks of business and business strategy and, you know, what comes first, second, and last, and when you should, you know, diversify and when you should look at scaling and all of that tend to have similar benchmarks. So if you're, you know, listening to this and you're like, okay, this doesn't apply to me, it does. If you listen to everything that we've been speaking about today, although we've been housing it within the beauty, you know, industry arena, all of those benchmarks that we've been speaking about really can translate over into any business. So, really take heed of this. And I want you to also, guys, if there's someone in your ecosystem that you feel could really do with listening to this, I really want you to send them the links to this. It's really important that we share the knowledge and that we're able to help people not make mistakes when there are kind of opportunities that can help you understand the right way to do things. Kavita, if anybody wants to book a discovery call with you to see if, working with you would be kind of the right fit for them, and if they are within the wheelhouse that you feel that you could mentor, how can they do that?
So they can just send an email. Actually, just send it directly to the spa. So it's info@infusemedspa.com, and then we'll have it taken care of from there.
Brilliant. And I got to ask you this before we get ready to close off. Any myths that you want to bust regarding branding strategy to, build your business that you've seen people talking about on the internet all the time that you've learned through experience is in fact not true? Is there like one or two things that jump out at you that you want to share with people?
Well, I think that a lot of what I see is that the more followers you have, the more successful you are. That's the biggest. No, it's not the way that, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And, actually, you can leave it at that, but let me expand on that a little bit, because I get that all the time when people come to me. They think building a brand is getting, a large fan base.
No.
Building a brand is to help you leverage anything that you're putting out there to the right audience to create authority in yourself and loyalty in them. Remember that, guys. And I have so many, people that, because you know me, babe, I have worked with celebrities, thought leaders, multinational corporations, the local business, media houses, you name it. I've worked with it over the last 20 years that I've been, in this kind of media marketing and branding and event space. And one thing that I've learned, if you don't know how to leverage your skill set and you don't know who to leverage it with, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million people in your ecosystem or if you have 10, you won't succeed.
Right.
And we've seen it. We've seen it oftentimes, right? There's people that will, micro influencers. Why are brands going and, paying good money for micro influencers today? Is because they know that their audience is legitimately loyal to them.
Yes.
Right. And then you could have people that have like 500,000 or 1 million followers, but they're not making a dime off of, their fan base, because their objective isn't to be serious about the knowledge and the expertise and to really give the goods.
Right.
Right. Their goal is to create an image of who they are that is aspirational, but aspirational not being attached to something doesn't have worth.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I know that people will kick my ass for making that statement, but I feel it needs to be made because, I've seen it. I've worked with people on both sides of that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this then, sweetheart. Why do people need to take what do you feel people need to take away from our discussion today about why brand diversification is today's #1 marketing strategy?
Well, I think the number one thing with that is that you have to stay present. You have to stay par with, the changes with marketing and online, but it doesn't mean that there is a perfect way to do it. What it means is that you have to get started, and it will find you. You'll find it. It will find you. You'll find it. Connecting the dots, like you said earlier, and then having discussions with the right people to refine exactly where your brand needs to go.
Absolutely. Is there anything that you feel I've missed that you feel that you'd like to share before we close off, Kavita?
No, actually, I just wanted to thank you for having me on your show, and exactly what you've been doing in this industry for the past 20 years is that you bring us entrepreneurs or, stars and celebrities and thought leaders to a platform so we can be the voice to someone that's listening today. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. And that really is what I've been doing is, creating platforms to help people empower themselves and to shine, right?
Yes.
And that's what I'm doing here with
the congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. And that's what I'm doing here with the Open Just Confidence Academy. It's just the same intention, just a different way of arriving at the same goal. So Kavita, to close off, how can people hang out with you? Like, give them your social handles so they can see all the good stuff that you're doing right now.
Well, it's interesting because getting a service with me is hanging out with me. So that's where that starts.
I love that.
But it's true, right? When you come in or whoever comes in, it's like a thing. It's like, it's like, did we even do a treatment? Yes, we did.
I love that.
So yeah, come on in. I love to see you in person. We do have the social handles. It's Infuse Med Spa, Kavita Suri Beauty Inc. as well. And, I do post like when I'm at nice restaurants or where I'm heading out to. That's on my Kavita Suri Beauty Inc. social. And then Infuse Med Spa is the beauty services that I offer.
That's wonderful, sweetheart. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Raj. Thank you.
Of course, sweetheart. And, opening up your journey to my audience to learn from is truly, a gift. And I'm sure it's been an eye-opener for many people that have been watching, listening, and reading this. Folks, thanks so much for hanging out with Kavita and me today. I really hope that you got some real value from our discussion and that you understand on some level how absolutely crucial brand diversification is to your bottom line and the parameters to staying deep rather than wide to ensure that you don't dilute your brand authority either. For more trainings like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Open Just Confidence Academy on podcast platforms at Apple, Google, and Spotify. Search the Transform Your Confidence show. And I also encourage you to join our free coaching newsletter community. Just head over to the website at the openjustconfidenceacademy.com/newsletter. And for those of you who want to be a part of our free professional development incubator, where I personally answer questions, I want you to head over to Facebook and join Transform Your Confidence. Until next week, take care of yourselves.